field watch is one of the most popular watch types out there, mostly due to its simple design, reliability, go-anywhere feel, and their historical military relationships. One problem is that there are a lot of models to choose from, anywhere from dirt cheap to high-priced luxury. Hamilton is a brand that offers a host of popular field watches. They've been at it since 1892 and have provided watches to the military service since World War I. Still, even just within Hamilton, one can easily become confused and frustrated considering their expansive array of field watch styles. But have no fear, Bob is here. I've done the hard work for you. I'll walk you through all of the Hamilton field watches in a concise and easy to follow progression on this episode of Adventures with Time. So you're looking for a field watch, and you think that Hamilton may have a model that meets your needs. Let me help you with what they have to offer so you can narrow down your options. Whether you're looking for a mechanical, automatic, or quartz movement, a smaller 38 or larger 44mm size watch, or even a stainless steel or titanium case. What follows is a methodical survey of all the Hamilton field watches. I've separated them into chapters so you can skip watch groups that are not to your interest, but I'd rather you watch the entire video. And if you find value to the effort I've put into this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider supporting the channel through the super thanks button, my merch shop, and to use my affiliate links in the description below to buy any of the watches you see in this video. Now on to the watches. If you're an old school watch enthusiast who wants a field watch similar to those vintage watches, you may prefer a mechanical field watch. Hamilton has you covered. Here are their khaki field mechanical models. They are available with a matte stainless steel case or with a black or brown PVD coating. There is also a bronze case model. 38mm in diameter with 20mm lug width, these models have a sapphire front crystal and a solid case back. Using the H50 movement, they have 50 meters of water resistance. On a strap, the retail price ranges from $495 up to $825 US. These models have a traditional military aesthetic with a simple matte dial treatment, containing an outer minute track, complete set of painted Arabic hour indices with an inner 24-hour scale for PM hours. Hamilton has applied lume on the hands and each of the hour indices. A true military-inspired look, enhanced by the matte sandblasted case finish. You will want to switch this watch up with several different strap types, so the drilled lugs will come in handy. These mechanical models follow the critical requirements of a field watch: clear readable dial, low-key appearance, and sufficient water resistance to handle most wearing scenarios. If you're like me, you might be saying that a 38mm watch is too small for your wrist. No worries, Hamilton offers a larger 42mm case size. However, these are only available with either a black or white dial. Both the 38 and 42mm models offer one the ability to get a historically inspired field watch at a reasonable price. Switching from the traditional hand-wound mechanical watches, let's take a look at the quartz models. These khaki field quartz models have a similar dial layout to the mechanical watches we just examined. However, with these, Hamilton has added a date window, included a subdivided track on the inner 24-hour PM hour scale, and they've increased the case size to 40mm. These use the ETA F07.111 quartz movement, retailing for $445 US. These quartz movements have a more active dial appearance, utilizing circular grooves under the Arabic hour indices. This provides some subtle reflections, providing a bit of life to the watch, as does the polished bezel. They also offer a black PVD case for those who want to be in stealth mode. Still highly readable, these watches brighten up the sometimes plain appearance of a field watch. Personally, I think that the technology of a quartz watch goes contrary to the historical nature of a field watch, but that's a highly subjective opinion and in no way should influence your decisions. What do you think about quartz-based field watches? Hamilton offers several sets of automatic field watches. We'll start out with those that have a date complication. The khaki field auto models. These have that traditional plain dial with the 2 hour tracks, as with the mechanical watches shown before. Here, Hamilton has added a date window at the 3 o'clock position, supported by their H10 movement. Still a simple, readable dial, reminiscent of those used by the military during World War II. Enlarged to a 40mm size with a polished bezel and some nice lume on the hour numerals and hands. This watch is also available in a larger 42mm case with the same design elements we just saw. If you have a larger wrist and want that down-to-business historical military look with some modern features, namely a date complication and automatic movement, these models might be something you want to consider. I did own this watch several years ago and found it very pleasing. However, I decided to sell it and go for a vintage World War II military watch. If you're interested in my selection and search for the appropriate vintage watch, I'll leave a link to that playlist at the end of this video. Maybe you want something with a bit more wrist presence, yet still with some military field DNA. Hamilton offers another set of models still using the khaki field auto label, but with greater design features, most notably a multi-textured dial similar to the quartz models I've shown you before. They've also added more printing to the outer minute track with numerals and accent pips every 5 minutes. These watches are available in two sizes, a 38mm diameter with a 20mm lug width, and a larger 42mm size with a 22mm lug width. Both utilize the H10 movement and support 100 meters of water resistance. These models are a nice compromise between the strict military functionality and aesthetics of a watch like the khaki field mechanical and a watch that provides purposeful wrist appeal and the more modern automatic movement. Closing out the khaki field auto group are a few models with a 44mm diameter, as well as this 44mm khaki field officer mechanical. I show them here for those interested. For those who want both the day and date complication, Hamilton has several sets of watches. First up is the Khaki Field King auto models. If you are sharp-eyed, you may notice that these are the only khaki field models with crown guards, giving them a more sporty appearance. And with its almost 50mm lug-to-lug, these watches will wear a bit larger on your wrist. They also have one with a black PVD-coated case with black dial. Like the Khaki Field Auto, this Field King has a multi-textured dial. To fit the 7 fully spelled out days, its window needs to be at the outer edge of the dial. Just below this large day window is the date window. They are supported using the H40 movement. These cutouts eradicate the Arabic hour numerals for 12 and partially for 11 and 1, with only a portion visible. This is a design element which I don't like. Overall, the Khaki Field King does have a nice appearance and may be to your liking if you don't mind moving further away from a traditional military field watch look. Keeping with the day-date complications, we have the Khaki Field Day-Date Auto models, coming in 2mm larger than the Khaki Field King at 42mm. Like the Khaki Field King, it does have a sporty look, but here they've reduced the size of the fully spelled out day and placed it further from the edge under the 12 o'clock position. They also moved the date window to the 6 o'clock position. Both have black backgrounds to make them less obtrusive. There are two models available, one in bare stainless steel, the other with black PVD coating. Both have a multi-textured dial. However, the uncoated stainless steel one uses brown or tan printing on the dial to aid in readability. The PVD coated model uses gray paint for the Arabic numerals, providing little contrast which may reduce readability in certain circumstances. I tend to like the aesthetics of this model better than the Khaki King, but with these, I feel we have moved still further away from the traditional field watch vibe. That does not mean that it isn't a watch you should consider. It all depends upon your tastes and criteria. Still, under the Khaki Field Day-Date Auto moniker, we have another set of watches, but these have the same plain field watch design as those Khaki Field mechanical watches I showed you first. These have a 42mm diameter case, which is totally brushed, including the bezel. With this traditional field watch look, you get a bit of modern functionality by having the day and date complications and an automatic movement. white printing with a bit more lume than the last set of models. The abbreviated day and date are at the 3 o'clock position in side-by-side windows. Maybe it's me, but these may look a bit big to pull off that field watch look. They just look a bit odd. Do you agree? Now, Hamilton's Khaki Field collection also has a set of titanium watches. The matte brush finish of the titanium will not show fingerprints, will not corrode, and of course is much lighter than its stainless steel counterparts. With a similar design as that of the other multi-textured Khaki Field dials we've already seen, these titanium models lack a date complication. Hence, they do have traits of a vintage military field watch with a bit of styling. These are available in both 38 and 42 millimeter case diameters and in a variety of dial colors, along with black PVD coated models. Coming in just under $1,000 retail, these watches touch what I would call the upper bound of affordable watches. Now we come to the Khaki Field Murph models. You've probably heard about these as the watch from the 2014 movie Interstellar. It's the watch that Matthew McConaughey's character Joseph Cooper gives to his daughter Murph. Originally launched in 2019 in a 42 millimeter case size, the Murph is now also available in 38 millimeters. Although it maintains that simple field watch appearance, the Murph does depart a bit from the other Khaki Field models. Notably absent is the inner 24-hour scale, providing a very clean and readable dial with off-white printing against a matte black background. Both models have a pleasant, if not subtle, application of lume on the hands and the Arabic hour indices. Spicing up the watch face a bit is the change from the typical Khaki Field syringe hour hand to a broader cathedral hand. Both sizes come in a totally brushed case with nicely proportioned lugs and thicknesses that will fit many wearing scenarios. If you're a movie buff or just like the clean appearance of the Murph, your decision as to which model size will primarily be based upon your wrist size. However, one should know that on the stick second hand of the initial 42 millimeter model, the word Eureka is written out in Morse code. Without providing any spoilers, this word plays a significant role in the movie. However, they've left this detail off the smaller 38 millimeter model. That may be a factor in one's decision. Some say that the Hamilton Khaki Field Pioneer Auto is a cross between a field watch and a pilot's watch. Like many pilot watches, it has a large 45 millimeter case with a clean readable dial. Note also the rib bezel and the onion-shaped crown, typical on many vintage and modern pilot's watches. Some also say that the Murph watch I just reviewed takes some of its design cues from this model. I'm not sure about that. However, one does note the same handset as on the Murph and the same printing style and artifacts on the dial. A little internet digging and one discovers that over the years there have been several variations of this watch, including different sizes, dial colors, and movements. However, this is the only one that seems to be on the Hamilton catalog today. I personally don't find this to be an attractive watch with its all-silver look, and the size is certainly a factor, even for me with my larger wrist size. Like the Murph models we already saw, there are other Hamilton watches that have shown up in major movies. This black PVD Khaki Field Autochrono is another. It is the model worn by John Krasinski as Jack Ryan in the first 2 seasons of the TV show of the same name. By the way, did you know that John Krasinski is married to Emily Blunt, who is sister to Stanley Tucci's wife Felicity? Somehow I think Kevin Bacon is going to show up somewhere in the family tree. All black with gray printing and just a bit of white in the day-date windows will make this watch hard to read in certain situations. The other negative for me with this watch is that there is no running seconds. I've seen this before on other watches, where one may be fooled to think that the watch has stopped. It has a mixed texture dial with printed Arabic hour numbers, but note, no 6 or 12 o'clock numerals. And for some reason, the 9 is larger than all the other numbers. I wonder why. Maybe to balance out the day-date window at the 3 o'clock position. Also note that the inner 24-hour track has just 4 of the 12-hour positions labeled. One feels like they tried to fit too much onto this dial. Another chronograph in the current Hamilton Khaki Field collection is this blasted stainless steel model, a bit larger at 44 millimeters and with a running second subdial. This might be a bit more to your liking, although it doesn't have any movie association. The larger size may not play a big factor for this watch, as it comes with a multi-piece spoon strap. However, this watch does seem to have the look of a pilot's watch more than a field watch. In fact, I think these two chronographs and the Pioneer model we just saw belong better in the Khaki Aviation collection rather than here with the field watches. As you may know, Hamilton is now part of the Swatch Group. So is ETA, the movement manufacturer. Hence, it's only natural that Hamilton uses ETA-based movements in their watches, keeping it all in the family. The H10, H30, H40, and even the mechanical H50 movements are all based off of ETA movements. However, several modifications have been made for specific purposes. Most obvious is the slowing of the movement from 28,800 beats per hour down to 21,600 beats per hour. This helps with reliability of the movement and, along with the improved mainspring, to increase the power reserve from about 40 hours up to 80 hours. Additionally, the adjustable escapement on the 2824-2 has been changed to a free-sprung balance. The H21 movement used in the Khaki Field chronographs is a variant of the ETA Valjoux 7750, with an increase in the power reserve to 60 hours. All of these movements have a good reputation for quality and reliability. However, they haven't been decorated much. Hence, in those models with a display caseback, you'll be able to see some of the Hamilton refinements, but they are not an overly attractive set of movements. After seeing all the models available in the Hamilton Khaki Field collection, how do you know how to select the watch most appropriate for you? Is it even going to be a Hamilton watch, or should you get a field watch from another brand? Do let me know if you want me to look at any other brand's field watches. I wish there was a magic formula that could help you decide. I was thinking of making a flowchart with questions you could answer that would lead to the perfect watch for you. It's just not that simple. There are many factors that cannot be taken independently. Additionally, your thoughts on the criteria may change as you consider your options and trade-offs. So what is one to do? Well, consider all models and narrow your options down to a smaller group. Then you need to look at these in person and see how they fit your specific wrist and how the design elements suit your interest. That is my prescription for your best chances of being happy with the selection. Also, make sure to watch this playlist on finding a vintage military field watch. And to increase your options even more, take a look at this video where I review 10 of the most affordable true or traveler's GMT watches out there today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.